welcome to Is This Good? The show where we boldly, conclusively, and scientifically decide what things in this big wide world are good. I'm Ed Austin, and with me as always is production powerhouse Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi JD, thanks for coming. And today's guest is a comedian who's written on some of your favorite TV shows like Workaholics, Kroll Show, and New Girl. 4 facts about him I know. He listens to 17 NBA podcasts a day. He's one of Twitter's best follows. He once predicted the afterlife with 92% accuracy, and he's doing so well that he has 1.5 bathrooms. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Noah Garfinkel. Noah, welcome to Is This Good?
I don't mean to rip off JD, but hello.
That's a perfectly fair answer. Noah, we met a long time ago. I don't remember what year. I want to say 2011, and then never saw each other again until fairly recently, where we both attended an NBA game together.
I was going to say, I think we're developing what might be my most heteronormative friendship of anyone. We've been to an NBA game and then met at a sports bar to watch another NBA game.
How do you feel about watching a game in a sports bar? Did you enjoy the experience?
I did. I hadn't done it in like a decade.
Yeah.
And
I mean, at least they were playing the audio out loud, which is key.
That was key. And it was also 2 teams where, like, I did care who won, but I wasn't incredibly invested. I think if you're, like, feeling sports anxiety, you don't want to be in a sports bar.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I told JD about it. JD was upset that there wasn't a DJ, that when the commercials came on, they were lowering the audio of the TV and then bringing up the audio on some Dua Lipa.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have a DJ, but to be fair, they did have tater tots that they did not fry the whole way through.
Oh, no. We talked about that on the show. We talked about having to return food at a sports bar, the lowest place to return food to. But as I pointed out, they were legitimately frozen, so it wasn't a gray area. It wasn't like they were going to argue that they were fine.
No, you could you could have used it to like help your finger if you cut it, like a nice cold tater tot on the tip.
At this NBA game that we went to, you asked me a very important question. I'm sure you don't remember what this question was, but I remember. And that question was, we're watching the Clippers play, and you turned to me and said, these referees, clearly they're all getting these referee shirts from the NBA, but are they all getting the same pants? Or is it the kind of thing like when you work at like Johnny Tomatoes, you know, the restaurant in the mall, where they're like, we'll give you the striped shirt and then just wear any kind of black pant you have.
Yeah, because they all appear to be some sort of like athletic slacks, but they're not jogging pants.
No.
So
they're not jogging pants.
I feel like they would have to be provided, because I don't think they're jogging in like Dickies. We didn't see any Dickies logos.
Well, honestly, the question haunted me, and I thought to myself, how would I ever find out an answer to this? But since you're coming on the podcast, I thought as a little gift to you, I would do 5 minutes of research, and if I could find the answer in 5 minutes of research, I would tell you on the show. And the good news is
thrilling.
I did find the answer.
Ah.
And I can't believe I found the answer. And the only reason I found the answer was because in 2017, the NBA switched their uniform sponsors from Adidas to Nike. So on UniWatch, this website that reports on, unsurprisingly, NBA uniforms, or I guess uniforms in general, they had this little nugget here that I'm going to read to you right now. Nike will provide referees with the jersey and their pants. So I thought, okay, nice. Well, that's not that interesting. That must have always been the way. Next sentence. In the past, Adidas gave them the jersey, but the officials were responsible for getting their own pants.
Wow.
I can't believe that. I mean, no wonder they kicked Adidas to the curb.
I mean, that must be why the referees got into, like, you know, gambling scandals. They had to find a way to pay for their pants.
They had to go to the work warehouse store and get their own
They're just asking for corruption, making these referees spend all their money on pants.
Well, so you might be interested to know that Nike also will provide the officials with undergarments, compression shirts, compression shorts, socks.
Wow.
And then it adds, Adidas did not provide these, but then it also says the officials will not be required to wear their Nike base layer under their uniform.
Yeah, who would even... That would be cool if there was like a balance of power situation where the players are the check on the referees wearing the proper undergarments. And they
Like a classic Chris Paul thing where he'll see someone's jersey untucked, which somehow is still a rule that you can't have your jersey untucked. It's like they're all going to like private school in the 1950s. And I don't know why this made me laugh, that it also noted that Nike, under this new deal, will also be offering the officials a discount to buy other merch items at Nike headquarters. Wow. And then I thought, nice. Nike headquarters, so like if they're not working a game in Portland, they don't get to go?
Oh, yeah, that's kind of weird that the headquarters even have a retail spot.
Actually, they do. We've been to it. It's very exciting. You go in there and everything's, I don't know, like 50, 60% off.
What did you get?
You know what I got, actually? Much to my chagrin, I bought a pair of tiny Nike shoes for my nephew that had just been born. And of course, you've met me. I'm of slight build. So then for the rest of the trip, everyone kept asking me why I wasn't wearing the shoes.
Oh, that's a good bit.
Matt, do you remember who we saw? We didn't run into him, but we saw an NBA player at the Nike.
Oh, yeah. So this was... I want to say this was maybe also 2011 or 2012. We saw Greg Oden lumbering through the official Nike store with a very unimpressive gait. And I guess, was he out of the league by then? I'm not really sure.
I think he was, maybe not actually. Maybe there was still a chance he may come back, but it was during the lockout anyways. So, but yeah, I think he, I'd have to look it up. But yeah, I just remember seeing him in person at like the discount of discount Nike stores. It was very sad. Very sad.
Well, some say those injuries would have never happened had Nike supplied him compression shirts, compression shorts, and socks. So, I mean, we'll never know.
It's amazing how much we can put on the like apparel availability like of the NBA. They've ruined a player, they've ruined referees. Yep. At least they're getting it together.
Yeah, well, I remember when we used to go to All-Star Weekend, there would always be like an Adidas, gifting suite, a Nike gifting suite. And every time I go, I used to ask the people that work there, like, how are these players wearing a new set of shoes every night? Because, that they say that they wear like a shoe every night or every 2 games. I was like, it takes me like 2-3 weeks to break in a shoe to feel comfortable running around in it. How are they wearing a new pair every night? And the guys would always be like, don't ask them about the shoe thing again, okay? They don't want to answer these questions. But then it was pointed out to me that they also make them custom insoles. So it's truly not a big deal. They're all doing fine.
I don't know. I was literally wearing a new pair of shoes last night, and now I have a bloody pinky toe. Just from, like, walking to
Wow,
gym.
Not even just a blister, a full bloody toe.
Yeah, I got to throw away some socks.
And maybe the shoes.
I'm keeping the shoes. The shoes the blood didn't go all the way through the shoe. It was very fortunate. And they are white shoes. Is this good? Is this good? Is this podcasting good talking about
I think it's good. I think it'll be great if you show us the bloody toe by the end of the podcast, if you feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I might.
That could raise it.
I also want to point out that the premise of your podcast kind of exposes every podcast is this good.
Well, no, I can't say anything in my defense. You're 100% correct. But then I would sort of reply and say, isn't every podcast just the same but with different overlays? Like different little hooks that are all the same thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. And that's exactly what we said to JD.
I'm not criticizing your podcast. I'm criticizing every other podcast that isn't this one for not being more transparent about what it is.
Exactly. We're like, what would be the analogy? We're the software that undergirds all the... No, we're the hardware? What do you think, Noah? Are we the hardware or are we the software?
This is hardware.
Yeah, this is the hardware. We're the platform. We're the iOS. Everything is running on us. And I wouldn't say that's controversial in any way.
No. This is the main thing. This is the basis of all podcasting.
Okay. Perfect. Glad we got through that. Some quick housekeeping before we start. Join the Is This Good Patreon, patreon.com/isthisgood. This month's live stream hangout is this Thursday, June 29th at 8:30 Eastern. No, I know you're not a patron, but I could send you the link. You could join this live stream hangout if you want, if you're not doing anything on Thursday.
I love hanging out live.
Well, we're doing it right now.
Great, yeah.
Grab some merch at isthisgoodpod.com. Send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe to Is This Good on YouTube. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. No, the premise of the show is very simple. So simple that it's the premise of every podcast. I'm going to give you a topic, and you tell me if it's good. Here we go. Grant N asks, planning your own birthday party as an adult. And Grant N explains further. He says, hey, Matt. I have a friend who's celebrating her birthday in July, and she's planning on renting out a private theater to watch the new Barbie movie to celebrate. She's been planning this since April and has asked me multiple times over the past couple months if I'm going to be in town for it. I find it a little odd that a grown adult has been planning her own birthday party several months out. What do you think? Planning your own birthday party as an adult, is this good? I mean, before you answer this question, Noah, is having a movie as your birthday activity good? Because I would say, what the hell is the point of gathering everyone you know to then not speak to any of them?
Well, I mean, one of my favorite birthday parties I've ever had was in 4th grade when my birthday party was to take everyone to go see Blank Check.
Oh, yeah, a classic,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
A classic. Written by the same guy who wrote Save the Cat. I think. I might have just made that up. That might not be true. We should do another podcast, Is This True, about that sentence.
Well, did Blank Check follow the stringent guidelines of Save the Cat?
I don't recall. I don't think it does. I don't think that kid saves a cat. I think he just gets $1 million.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I remember from it, though I haven't seen it since your fourth birthday party. 4th grade, did you say, or 4 years old?
4th, it's weird. I remember it was 4th grade. I don't remember how old you are in 4th grade.
Okay, that's impossible to tell. We're just
There's
gonna
no
have to
way to
move
know.
on.
But I think, here's the thing. I think, is it okay to plan a birthday party as an adult? I would say it's not a great idea to plan it months in advance and have it be very complicated. But if you're not like in a long-term relationship and you want to do anything for your birthday, you have to plan it for yourself. Yeah. And then if you don't at least like say like, oh, hey, I'll be at this bar if you want to stop by, people think you're depressed. So I feel like everyone's obligated to do something. So I think it maybe not good, but necessary.
Right. I mean, do you think it's partly not who's planning it, but how demanding they are of your time? Yes. And how elaborate the plans are? Like this Barbie plan, it's a little bit sweaty, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think it's like you have to plan this so far out in advance, and because you've gone out and rented an entire theater, you're going to have egg on your face if the guy ripping the tickets is like, this chick rented out this whole theater and there's 6 people here.
It also depends on which birthday it is.
Okay, elaborate.
Like if you're turning, I don't know, 32, it's like, what are you making everyone do? But it's like, I don't know, if it's a 30 or 40 or 50, yeah, sure, do a thing.
So every 10 years, you could rent out a theater to see a new film.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that seems fair to me. JD, where are you on this one? Have you ever planned a birthday party for yourself? I'm not sure you have.
Oh, hell no, never. But well, you say it's sweaty. Sweaty for whom exactly? It's sweaty for the person who's planning it.
Yeah.
All the guests have to do is show up and watch a dumb movie, right? Like,
no, I mean sweaty in terms of like a little desperate, like a little.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Like I wrote this blank check.
Right.
And now I have to cash it. And the cashing it is having enough friends to fill an entire theater to watch Barbie.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'm going to look like an idiot. And and then you can't tell me that this is all this birthday party involves. Someone that's planning this much, you're telling me that all they want to do is you show up, you watch Barbie, and then everyone leaves? There's no chance that that's what's happening.
Right.
She wants you to go to a restaurant after, at minimum a bar.
Yeah.
Maybe have some Barbie-themed cocktails. I don't know. There's
presumably you're dressing up as a Barbie character as well, right? It's probably part of it.
I mean, Grant didn't say that, but it could be themed. If you're going to rent out a theater, it should be themed to the movie, actually.
Right.
I don't think you should ever ask grown adults to wear something different than what they were already going to wear. I went to a birthday party recently that was goth themed, and I was just like, I'm not doing that. And then I went, and I felt great. I was the only one who didn't look like an asshole, and I felt really good about it.
You look like Robert Smith right now with your hair.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of already going hair-wise as as a 80s to 2000s level emo band.
Yeah.
And I am wearing black. Oh God, I am goth right now. Jesus Christ.
I was going to say, I just went to a birthday party on Monday, and I walked in, and the woman whose birthday it was, like, I don't know them that well, so I was kind of more invited by a friend of theirs that I know them through, and they were dressed as Helena Bonham Carter in Fight Club.
Oh, wow.
And there was a Brad Pitt in Fight Club next to her, and she was like, oh, yeah, it's a dress up as your favorite movie character theme. I said, I was not told, but I was really glad that I wasn't told, because then I would have felt pressure to do it. And it was a Monday, but that actually brings up something. So this person that was having this party at a bar on Monday night, they were experiencing what I like to call birthday anxiety, which is when you invite all your friends to one bar or any location, and then you get there and realize, oh shit, most of these people don't know each other. And then you're worried that kind of the whole night you're like, Noah, this is JD. JD, this is Rachel. Rachel, this, and then everyone's got to try to figure out how they know each other. Have you ever experienced this, Noah?
I have. I had like a thing where I was just like, hey, I'll be at this bar if you want to come by. And then I was like 8:30 to 11:30, and then I got made fun of so much for having an end time for my birthday party at a bar, to the point where our mutual friend Joe Mandy brought a cake that said Noah's birthday party 8:30 to 11:30.
What a scamp that Joe Mandy is.
But I don't want to feel obligated to stay at my own birthday party. Like, I want to be a little drunk and then like Postmate Taco Bell while I'm in an Uber on the way home.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you actually leave at 11:30?
You're goddamn right. Yeah, I don't want to be there that long.
Wow, a man of his word. So, Noah, we poll people before the show starts, and 60% of people say planning your own birthday party as an adult is good. Yeah. And from the responses, it was basically like, it's kind of sucks, but who else is going to do it for you?
Yeah.
Which is pretty much the conclusion that we came to. Next topic, Isaiah M. asks, removing someone's clothes from a communal dryer. That's the way that Isaiah wrote it, but obviously, removing someone's clothes from a communal washing machine, also in play as a question here. I know I've dealt with this before. Noah, have you ever dealt with this before? Either removing someone's clothes or having your clothing removed? And how did you feel about it?
I think there's a huge difference from removing someone's clothes from the dryer and removing them from the washing machine. Because if you're just removing them from the washing machine, you're just dumping a pile of wet clothes somewhere else, and that's gross. Mm-hmm. If it's in the dryer, it's done. Like, the machine has done its work and is available for use. But one time in my previous place I lived before this, there was a communal washer and dryer, and I did take things out of the dryer, and I still felt guilty about it, so I started folding the clothes for the person. But then the woman whose clothes it was came into the room while I was folding her clothes, and I felt enormously creepy. It no longer seemed like a good gesture.
Oh, no, yeah, right. I think you kind of have to, I'm sorry to be so heteronormative, but you have to look in the dryer. If it's a man's clothes and you feel bad, fold away. If it's a lady's, you don't want to have some lace intimates in your mitts.
Yeah, there were a couple of, like, when I started folding, I didn't know what the contents of the laundry was, but there was some underwear in there. And
yeah.
It wasn't like, I mean, I moved. I now live in a different place.
So, I mean, I agree that the taking out of the washer is worse. Though, you know what I'll say? If someone was going to leave their clothes in the washer all night, they're going to be way mildewier if they had just remained in that enclosed space with no air
Oh, that's
circulation.
interesting.
But I would also say that you take the clean clothes out of the dryer, put them on top of the dryer, and any apartment building I lived in where there were communal dryers, they were always filthy. The tops of them had like a thick layer of dust on them, and the room hadn't been cleaned. So now you're taking clean clothes and putting them basically in grime, which isn't great. But again, much like the first question, what are your other options? What are you going to do? Go back upstairs with your laundry and be like, I guess I just will
I'll wait
wear
until
dirty
this
clothes
person
from now on?
Yeah. I'll just keep checking back in the laundry room until it's done.
Yeah, you're glossing over the dickish behavior of leaving your shit in a communal washing or dryer machine, right? Like that's that the onus is 100% on the person. And whenever I had to use like a laundromat or whatever, I would have set a timer on my digital watch or whatever. Like I'd know to go and get it. Like, I'm like so filled with rage when that happens to me. Taking somebody else's stuff, because if it's women's stuff, I'm not touching it at all. Like I'll just leave it in there because I will not be seen touching or even. Yeah, like I don't want anybody to know that I touched their laundry. Period. At all.
You know what I mean? You're not. When you pull stuff out of the dryer, you're not going. One
they don't
item,
know that. They don't know
items, that. 3. You're bear hugging it all and then plopping it on top. You don't know what's in there.
Of course, but that's they. For all they know, I have gone through every single item, sniffed it, and put it aside.
Well, it's
you know what I mean,
JD. So unless you're smelling,
that's the assumption. That's the assumption that they're making. That's what I'm saying. So I will not leave anything to assumption.
Well, if anything,
I just won't do
sniff it before they wash it. I mean, that's your solution right there. So obviously, yes, the person that has left the clothes in the dryer is the most inconsiderate person. But how do you solve this problem? You walk in, there's clothes still in the dryer, no one is around. How do you know if they are the most inconsiderate person in terms of they have left the stuff in there for 6 hours versus not really inconsiderate at all? The thing just dinged before you walked in there and they're merely 90 seconds late or 2 minutes late.
Well,
you don't know that
difference. You do know the warm test. How warm is this laundry?
Oh, okay, interesting. So you're opening the door and putting your hand in?
Don't even have to. You just put your hand on it. It'll be warm.
Yeah.
On the door.
You know, the way Columbo solved the murder in the pilot episode. With the car.
Right. Or just when forensics is checking to see how hot the tip of the gun is. I think is a thing they do.
Remember the blackout that happened? I think it affected the entire eastern seaboard. Mm-hmm. I think it was 2005-ish, give or take. I had laundry in our laundry room in our building in a dryer. And you couldn't get into the laundry room without using your key card, which was electric. So everybody was locked out of the laundry room for 3 days, basically. So I had a load of laundry sitting in a dryer in a laundry room. And we couldn't get it, like I said, for 3 days. And when I finally was able to get it, half of my shit was gone out of the dryer. Okay. Like a month later, my neighbor, I was on the 17th floor. This is a big building. I saw my neighbor, who was a very large woman, who we found out later had been squatting there for like for 6 months or something like that. She was wearing one of my shirts and I knew it was mine because it was like just a random like Northern Ontario independent band shirt that they gave to me because I was booking the Hard Rock at the time. So it was like, there's no fucking way that anybody, like, she would have that specific t-shirt. So my neighbor took clothes from the laundry room that is shared by 3 buildings. Like, so literally thousands of people. And it just happened to be my neighbor. Anyways.
Did you test her? Like, you walk up to her and say, what's the lead-off track on the Flying Raccoons debut album?
Oh, I love the Flying Raccoons. No, I didn't have the balls to confront her about it. Because there is that infinitesimal chance that... I mean, it was definitely her. Like, she was a scumbag. Like, but...
Yeah, well, I think you just Columbo'd it.
Yeah.
I had a guy in a laundromat steal my IKEA bag, but I didn't have any hard proof, but it's like, we both know this is my bag. But I'm not gonna, I don't know, a stranger at a fully public laundromat isn't who you want to mess with.
Yeah.
No, but I actually think it's worse the fights people get into in the communal laundry of a building, because then you know each other.
Yeah.
And then, I've seen people fucking lose it when they walk into, it's like you're doing your laundry and then you just hear from behind you, "Who took my clothes out of the machine?" And you're like, oh, fuck, it's about to go down. Well, 53% of people say removing someone's clothes from a communal dryer is not good, which I personally don't understand. I don't know what these people
It sounds like you have a lot of asshole voters. Like, they're the lever-inners.
They're the lever-inners, or I have a lot of just, like, non-confrontational listeners. And they're like, I don't want to be that guy that touches the intimates, which such as you did, Noah, which was really creepy, and people
It's
probably
also
been
like,
tweeting about that.
I worked at the Cheers gift shop in college, so I'm really good at folding. So, like, everything was folded perfectly, which is even creepier. I did such a good job.
Hold on, you were destined for sitcom greatness. I didn't know you worked at the Cheers gift shop.
Yeah.
Did you say to yourself every time you put away one of those Cheers steins that one day I'm gonna have my own show that has its own merch and still work in the shop just to so we're making more profit on each item?
I never thought or did that, but I was incredible at wrapping the glass mugs in paper.
Okay.
I was so fast.
Wow.
I was incredible. That might have
Weird
been
flex.
the job I was incredible at that job.
So this is wrapping the mug or the stein or whatever in front of the person that just bought it.
Yeah, there's like a display, or sometimes, you pre-wrap like 30 of them for the day.
Yeah.
So people can throw it in their bag.
That's why people loved you, Noah. You were always getting ahead of the rush.
Because July 4th is like their hugest, busiest day. And I remember coming into work on July 5th when like everything's getting restocked and it's chaos. And someone else saying, "Oh, thank God Noah's working today." And I was like, oh no, this isn't, I don't want to be so good at my gift shop job that people are relieved that I'm there.
What is going on at the Cheers gift shop? Is it attached to like a fake Cheers bar that looks like that bar?
No, it's the exterior shot. Is the formerly the Bull and Finch pub, but they just changed the name to Cheers. It doesn't look inside like Cheers, but the outside is Cheers. Yeah. And then upstairs, in what was Melville's in the show, is the gift shop in real life. And I worked up there.
Huh. So is the gift shop owned by the Bull and Finch?
Yeah, it's owned by, it's a guy named, I always get his name confused with the Dodgers pitcher, and I never remember his name is either Tim Kershaw or Tom Kershaw.
No, isn't Clayton Kershaw the pitcher?
Oh yeah, so it might just be Tom Kershaw. Yes, okay.
Okay.
So it was just
It might
Tom
be a
Kershaw.
pair of brothers.
Yeah, it's just a guy who really lucked out. Like, sold the rights to his like bar for $1 to NBC, and has now made so much money off of like licensing.
That's
and
wild.
teaching.
Did people come in like demanding that you know trivia about Cheers and things like that?
No, but they would. There was a T-shirt called the Normisms T-shirt that just had like 10 quotes from Norm, and I just had to hear dads read every single one out loud to their like wives and kids all day, every day.
You know, when you go into like a Japanese restaurant here, I don't know, I forget what the word is, but they all scream like a word that I'm not going to try to say because it's going to sound...
Oh no, do it. It won't be racist. I promise.
Okay. Okay, JD, just edit this out. Like, just believe this word. It's not an offensive word, but you walk in, they go, "I just said it." Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they tell you as an employee of the Cheers store to be like, anytime someone walked in, be like, "Norm"?
I mean, people would say Norm when they walked in. I was not instructed to do that. I was just instructed to try to upsell them and make them buy a hat.
Okay. Excellent. Well, you're in good company here because JD worked at the Hard Rock Cafe, so he is very familiar with restaurant merch.
Extremely.
And he owns a concerning amount of Hard Rock merch.
I do. I think Hard Rock T-shirts are back. I want a Hard Rock Honolulu T-shirt so badly right now.
Oh, okay. I can
Okay, well, maybe
that.
JD
I probably
can send
have
you
one.
He has,
I would love
he has a deep collection. All right, Noah, it's time for the Is This Good segment where everything's bad. It's time to pick your poison. So here's how it works. I'm going to give you some related options that are all bad, and you have to pick your poison. So whichever you consider to be the least worst option.
Okay.
So the theme here is that obviously, as we know, there's a writer's strike. The dastardly AMPTP has not come to the table with a good offer, so you guys are still striking.
Yes.
And my question is, pick your poison between these terrible picketing signs that I just made up 5 minutes before the show. So keep in mind, you will have to be bringing one of these picket signs to a protest, whether it be Netflix, Paramount, wherever you want to go, but you will have to be using one of these
I pick
signs.
it Disney, personally.
Okay, just look at these. I don't think any of these are specifically related to Disney, but still... Oh, actually, one of them is.
Great.
JD, could you put up the first sign, please? So this one says, Max is the idol. The negotiation is more like the idle, IDLE. Let us enjoy our weekend. Okay, so that's the first sign. Any notes on this one so far?
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Wait, can we bring
Good,
that
right?
back up? I need to look at it more,
Yeah, sorry.
I think.
I need to inspect this further.
Because I think what was missing was the way you said it is kind of better than the design of the... I think it was, if you put, is more like idle, and then in parentheses, spell out idle again with dashes.
Okay, yeah. It is weird because these are more of a visual thing. I'll hop over to YouTube if you want to see these amazing signs I photoshopped.
Okay, wait, I gotta read this because this was... Okay, Max is the
read
idol.
it in your own voice. Read it in your own voice.
This is how... Max is the idol? This negotiation is more like the idol. Let us enjoy our weekend. You know what? This is my favorite sign.
Already you're in.
I'm in. This is already... There's not going to be a sign I like more than this one.
Okay.
Okay, do you think I should have said, let us enjoy our weekend, spell the weekend the normal way, and then in brackets put, not like the weekend?
God, I got to be honest. I didn't even get that it was about the guy.
Oh, you see now. Is it better or worse now?
It's even better.
Were you wondering why there was a typo in the sign?
Oh, I don't notice. I have autocorrect in my brain and don't see them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're pretty happy with this one, but yes, that is a weekend joke. I actually, embarrassingly, when The Weeknd came out, because as you know, we're from Toronto, and he's from Toronto, and he was sort of like an indie kind of artist at first, like playing just these like local clubs. And I legitimately thought his name was The Weeknd, like it was a joke. It was kind of a play on words on like weekend, like W-E-A-K, and The Weeknd. So I called him The Weeknd for probably the first 5 years of his career. All right, JD, let's see the next one. Let's see if Noah likes this sign more or less than that one. All right, this one says, pay up or we'll tell you what's outside the silo, a show I watch.
I like that one too, because I also watched The Silo.
Okay, well actually I was writing this in your voice. So I knew you
Yeah.
watched The Silo because I saw you tweeting about it.
Yeah, this is... I think you can't go wrong with any of these signs.
Okay, you're like... okay, I think you actually might like this next sign the most. Okay, JD, put up the next sign. This one's about artificial intelligence, a hot button issue in the strike. It says, the only AI I respect is Allen Iverson. And Armando Iannucci. Oh, and also finals MVP Andre Iguodala.
Here's the thing. I feel like this one has been done in some form. I think I have seen an Allen Iverson sign. So that makes it... This so far is my least favorite because it's too accurate.
Okay, but did they also include the rest of it? Shout out to Armando Iannucci and Andre Iguodala?
Yes.
Oh, they did. Okay.
That is not true. I
bet you go to a protest, you see like 5 people with this sign. Okay, and then here's your last option. This one is, I think it's the most cringy because it's almost like something you might see, but it's very bad and doesn't really make sense. So here we go. You make Showtime's billions. Don't let this come down to HBO's The Wire.
Yeah, that one feels very... I mean, this is the level... A lot of our signs are not doing us any favors. And this feels like you're writing in the voice of a real sign.
You mean the signs are writing themselves?
Some of them... Yeah, I think the signs are writing themselves.
The shrimp are frying themselves? Okay, so it's time to pick your poison. Do you want me to go through your options again, or do you feel like you have a strong...
I think I'm going to go with a hard first option. I like how it goes off in a number of directions.
Yeah.
And I really
it's a thinker.
Appreciate it.
Like, you don't get it right away, you know?
No, you really, it demands your attention because there's a lot of words. So you're like, okay, let's get into it. And then there's a lot of places to go while you're inside of it.
But let's say, imagine you're actually picketing with this sign. Let's say you're following the rules of this podcast.
Oh, I picketed with worse signs than that.
Okay, so what's a bad one you've used?
I paid someone $5 to switch signs with me because the sign I picked up said, "What we have here is a failure to compensate." Which, like, okay, we're referencing like Cool Hand Luke, but the syllables don't even match. And I was just like, I hate this. I hated it so much.
And wait, so what did you pay $5 for? What'd you get?
I think I got one that was just like, strike.
I mean, that's a safe bet, I think. Because now, correct me if I'm wrong, was it true that only like if you went there on the first or second day you could write your own sign, but then all the signs got used up and now you just have to pick up someone else's shitty sign?
Yeah, except for on day 2 I had learned my lesson and I took a blank sign and now I keep it in my car and I just use the blank sign every day.
And you've left it blank?
Left it blank. I mean, it still says like WGA strike, but just the white part where you can write whatever you want has remained blank for now week 8.
Right. How about, here's a sign for you. Okay, go with me on this one. It says, for my 4th grade birthday party, I went to see, then you leave a big blank space, and then you write check under it, and then maybe on the other side, you write, would love to get back to writing great films like this.
Well, the first thing you propose is a plexer. That's what those are called. Like where it's like a visual word puzzle.
Okay,
and I do enjoy
I thought it was impressive you were good at folding paper at the Cheers store. Now you're using big words.
Plexer? Big word?
Yeah. I don't know. I never heard that term before.
Maybe that might have just been what my 3rd grade teacher called them. I should have
learned this in the 3rd grade, JD.
Yeah, same.
They all learned this before they saw Blank Check. So they would have got the joke.
I'll see if Mrs. Gunsberg is still alive, and I'll ask her.
Okay, I mean, I was going to do a pick your poison question about cheers or slogans I made up that you would have to chant, but I found that to be harder than just writing signs, so I didn't do that. But have you heard any good chants, good slogans that you like to say?
I don't like the chants. I did try to start one chant, which was just I tried to start face down, ass up as a chant and see if anyone would finish it. It didn't work. No one liked it.
So wait, you say face down and everybody else says ass up.
I say face down, ass up, and then they have to say that's the way we like to fuck.
Oh, I
see. He said fucks. He tried so hard not to say it, people. Okay?
Yeah, I didn't want to.
And we won't be bleeping that out. That's there. All right, Noah. Not everyone is going to agree with everything you say, but you're making a lot of sense. I'm sure everyone's going to agree with most of what you say. But sometimes when you believe something deeply to your core, you have to stand alone on the edge of popular consensus. It's time for unpopular opinions. So these topics are from the Unpopular Opinion subreddit, but if you have strongly held beliefs that most people disagree with, email them to me at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. So no, let's start with the first one. This is from user MattyO JD. And this is the unpopular opinion. Being early is as rude and annoying as being late. Being early is as rude and annoying as being late. So, well, first of all, are you someone that's often late, or are you an on-time guy?
I'm an on-time guy because of anxiety.
Yeah.
I do show up early to things, but I'll wait around outside. I don't just like barge in early. So I would say late it's not ruder. It can be rude if it's like a house party and you come 30 minutes early and show up. That is rude.
Right.
But I wouldn't say it's ruder than holding up a whole group of people for a thing.
Right.
Right. But I think that this person must have been thinking of someone hosting something, like someone, because if it's, let's just say it's a dinner, like at a restaurant, why would it be rude to be early? It's not like they're doing anything.
Yeah, okay, if it's at someone's house, yes, it is ruder to be early than late. Almost any other situation, the opposite.
Yeah, okay. I agree that this unpopular opinion is correct. Is it unpopular? That's what I wonder with some of these, because it just sounds correct to me. But yeah, I think it's way ruder if someone's having a dinner party and I show up 10 minutes earlier. They're doing things at the last minute, for sure. No matter how well you plan, there's always something you've forgotten to do, or you're like shaving or whatever it is you're doing, drying yourself off. JD, you're an early guy, aren't you?
Not to parties, at house parties. I'm mostly late, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it's ruder to be early?
Oh, clearly, yes, because I'm always late. So that's less rude than showing up early.
Yeah, you're doing them a favor.
I'm doing them a favor. Like, let them have. When I plan a party or dinner or whatever, I don't expect people to be here when I say, be here at 6. I'm like, cool, I'm ready at 6. If somebody shows up at 6, that's cool, but I don't expect anyone there till 6:30 at the earliest, at the absolute earliest.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird if someone gets there right on the dot, because then you're like, were you doing Noah style and just standing outside my front door, waiting, looking at your watch, waiting for the clock to strike 6? The next unpopular opinion, this comes from Badit, who says, pedestrian traffic should not stop for people's photos. So they continue, I think it's rude to expect people to stop on a busy walkway because you want to take a photo. Most of the time, if the photo taker would wait a few seconds, there will be a lull in traffic and that will be their chance. I know that works because that's what I do when I want a photo in a busy area. I'm sick of getting dirty looks for not stopping in busier areas so people can take photos. I gotta admit, I was reading this one, I was like,
I got a little lost in this one. This one is
okay. I'm going to explain to you. So basically, this person's saying, let's say you're walking down Hollywood Boulevard, you're trying to get to work, and someone's taking a picture outside the Chinese theater, and people are stopping on the street to allow them to take their picture instead of just like, hey, I got somewhere to go, I got to walk by them. You wait for us. Wait for a lull in this traffic of people to stop so you can take your precious photo.
Oh, okay.
Don't inconvenience us.
Oh man, this one's. I do stop to let people do it, but that's to avoid confrontation. But I am annoyed. I don't like it.
Yeah, 100%. And I go like, okay, my natural instinct is I agree with this person. I think no one should have to stop for someone else's picture. I mean, even you see it when you're hiking. If they just waited for you to go by, there would be endless stretch of nothingness and no people for them to take their photo, but they're holding you up to take a picture of the view. And normally, like I do stop to avoid confrontation, but I think it's insane, and I wish I had the guts to walk through every person's photograph, because I think that they're like, you going to work is more important than them getting this picture.
Well, it depends on. I've had jobs that were not more important than that.
Okay.
But, for example, working at Cheers, where people were taking pictures all the time.
Yeah.
I did live through the worst version of this because my last place was on the street that goes straight up to the Hollywood Hill with the sign. So people would just stand in the middle of my street to get a picture of the sign. So you would have to like fully avoid manslaughtering people while driving.
Well, similarly, Noah, I live in Echo Park, very close to the Fast and the Furious house.
Oh, yeah.
a constant struggle if you're walking past it. There's people with Coronas. They put the Coronas on the hood of the car. They're lining up a great shot to get the house in the background. And the people that own the house keep putting a higher fence. It doesn't stop people. People are like, we know that's the house. The address is on the internet.
Wait, is that over like by that Bob's Market?
Yeah, which is the Toretto's Market, also from the first movie. What do you think about when you're walking and there's something shooting? Obviously happens more in LA, but used to happen when we lived in Toronto, and definitely when we lived in Atlanta. So I'm not talking about like a production where they've actually shut down the street. It's just like people filming something, whether it's something for TikTok or I don't know, a low budget commercial, whatever it is. And then they're like, oh, we're just getting a shot. Could you stop, please? And then you might be waiting there for like 3, 4, 5 minutes. Do you sometimes feel like you just want to walk right through?
Yes.
I always do it. I always walk right through.
Okay.
Always.
So
100%
even though you're in the industry, and I'm sure there's times where the sun is setting and you're like, we got to get this shot.
Yeah.
I'm never...
Zoe, we got to get Zoe out here.
I mean, first of all, you do got to get Zoe out of there. She has some hard outs.
She does.
But also, when my first ever actual kind of TV or movie job was when I was a PA for 3 days on I Am Legend. And my job was to stop people from crossing Madison Avenue in New York City at like 9 a.m. And it was mostly just like furious people running late to work while like 22-year-old me is like, actually, we're shooting a movie here, so we're trying to... And people were just like, fuck off, and just breezing by me. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. I don't care.
How many I'm walking ears did you get?
I got 0 in that voice, but a lot of that sentiment in every other voice.
Yeah.
I don't even think a New York City traffic cop could prevent people from walking across the street in Manhattan.
That's the closest I've ever been to being arrested is when they were shooting The Incredible Hulk on Yonge Street. It was at 10 o'clock on a Friday night, and I was walking from... like college, it doesn't matter. I wanted to walk down the street, and they
name the local streets for Noah so he can look them up later.
Yeah, college. I was walking from College to Dundas, but between Girard, where the Zanzibar is, between Girard and Dundas, it was all closed down for the Incredible Hulk. And I was
Ang Lee's Incredible Hulk, just so we could.
No, that's just Hulk, Matt. Come on now.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Ed Norton's Incredible Hulk. I don't know who directed it, but yeah. And I was just like, I'm fucking walking down Yonge Street, and it was basically a closed set, and I just walked right through, and this cop was yelling at me, and I just didn't look back, and I was just kept on walking, and she gave up.
All right, last unpopular opinion. This one's from Shazzy Chan, who says there needs to be an amateur section at gyms. I read this, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea. But then I read their reasoning, and I disagree with their reasoning, but still agree with the premise. So they said, I want to keep all the wandering time wasters away from the people who actually know what they're doing and just want to lift. I'm so sick of mindless drones sitting around staring at other people who clearly have no clue what they're even doing at the gym.
This is not coming from the side I thought it was coming.
Well, exactly.
This really threw me for a loop. I thought it was someone being like, why do I have to be with like the people who like look good? I want to be like alone with my trolls. Giving up immediately.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. But either way, good idea. Whether you're doing it because you want to keep us amateurs away from the people that are doing sick reps on the TRX, or from... people that just want a safe space to kind of gently curl. I think they're both right.
That's a good idea. And then a similar take that I've tweeted about is that there should be separate Costco shopping hours for people who care about being in the way.
Okay. Well, would you walk right through a line of people that are waiting for a sample?
No, it's more like the people who are like just like comatose looking at all their options with their cart blocking the whole aisle. Yeah. Like, I don't want those. I just want to grab my stuff. I'm a very efficient shopper.
I'm surprised that living alone, you shop at Costco.
Well, here's the thing. I basically only signed up to get the chicken. I just... I go to Costco and I buy one single chicken and then sometimes a bottle of scotch that's cheaper there than anywhere else.
And does that even out with the membership price?
Oh, yeah.
Amortize that out amongst all chickens that you've purchased?
3 bottles of scotch you've already paid for your Costco card.
Are you a member at a gym, out of curiosity?
I am still a member at the LA Fitness on El Centro because I signed up in 2014 and haven't been since, and they won't let you cancel unless you go. So I have paid $10 a month since 2014 and have only been 3 times.
Wow.
Well, all the money you're saving on Costco, that's evening out with the LA Fitness membership. But now, here's what I'm going to offer you as a thank you for being on the show. If you want a brave, compatriot, I'll go down with you to the LA Fitness, and we won't be leaving there till they cancel your membership.
This is what I need to cancel it. I'll never do it unless I have.
Yeah, and I'll keep texting. I'll be like, it's time, no, and you'll be like, no, I got something else, But I'm like, no, we got to go to the LA Fitness.
I need this very much in my life. Also, can you plan a birthday party? Plan a birthday party for me too.
When's the big B day?
Not till February.
Okay, well,
Lots of time.
You'll have to remind me.
It'll be
we'll have
the
to
big
find
one.
out
So you really got to do something for it.
the big 4-0.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll have to look at the schedule and see
What movies are
what
coming
fucking
out.
Marvel movies coming out in February.
No, you know what? We'll rent out a theater and have them play Blank Check again. Who cares? It's my
Yeah.
it's my birthday.
Great idea.
Honestly, people would be psyched if they showed up and that's what was playing. And it could be Blank Check themed, so it would be like all the shit that a 12-year-old would think is cool that you could now probably afford. Like you'd be like, McDonald's for everyone. You could do that.
Yeah.
I think I could possibly afford the huge Velcro bodysuit jump wall. I think it's expensive, but I think I could cover it.
I'll tell you what, no, I'm going to go down to Elysian Park on a Sunday and just steal one, because there's always one there. If you wonder why there's not an inflatable bouncy castle in your city, it's because all of them are in Elysian Park. No, there's only one thing left to do, and that's play subjective trivia. So subjective trivia is just like regular trivia, except only I know the answer. And I've written my answer on the back of this envelope because I'm not at home, so I don't have my typical note cards that I write it on. So are you aware of / did you contribute to the list of banned comedy cliches in the Workaholics writer's room?
I did, but I don't remember what my contributions were.
Okay, but there was this giant
Specifically.
list of
Yes.
these sort of hackneyed comedic phrases that shouldn't be used anymore because they're such a cliche. So
Yes, for example, like really, and
yes, exactly.
you're standing right behind me, and so on and so forth.
Yes, exactly. So when Joe Mandy, your friend, perhaps best friend, I don't want to speak for you, when he was on, I gave him some of these and asked him to pick which one he would be most comfortable using.
Okay.
So since you actually worked at Workaholics, I thought this would be even more appropriate for you. So these are all different than the ones I asked Joe. So JD, if you could put up a slide just so Noah can have a visual reminder. So again, which one of these would you feel most comfortable using in real life? So you don't have to write it into a script, but just like we're hanging out and you want to make a joke, so you're going to use one of these. I have my answer, but let's hear the options. Let's not and say we did. Ooh, too soon. 0 fucks given. Check, please. Or vajayjay. So, out of these 5, let's not and say we did. Too soon. 0 fucks given. Check, please. Or vajayjay. These are all bad cliches, but which of these would you feel most comfortable using in a real life joke scenario?
I would use vajayjay, but to refer to Virginia, the state.
It's like, shit, I'm not gonna be around this weekend. My friend's having a wedding in Richmond, vajayjay.
Yeah, I'm flying into DC, but the wedding's in vajayjay.
Okay. Well, I'm flying into Roanoke because it's actually in West vajayjay, but that's the closest airport. Okay, so is that your answer?
That is my answer, but a runner-up, I think Let's Not and Say We Did could come back. I feel like it's been long enough we could bring it back.
Interesting.
Well, what I was going to say is the only one of these that I truly hate is Zero Fucks Given.
Yeah.
But, well, I'm not going to tell you my answer yet. JD, do you want to give your answer?
Well, is it my answer or what I think your answer is going to be?
JD, is this your first time on the show?
I know. I think it's too soon. Too soon? Because it's I still use that and I like it.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we're not aligned because my answer is blank check, please. What if it actually said blank check, like I'm fucking David Copperfield or something?
That would be very impressive to me. To answer the question of the podcast, that is good.
Yeah, that would be insane. I like check, please. I mean, if you say it literally in a restaurant, not funny. But I think there's a way you could work it into a conversation where it's just a little button on the conversation, has nothing to do with getting a check. And I'll laugh if you say it. No.
That's interesting because I think it only works in a restaurant.
How, though? How would you do it?
It's like this conversation isn't going, jokingly, it's not going the way I want it to. Check, please. You know what I mean?
But that's what the joke is based on. Like someone on a bad date, oh, God, this is boring, going, check, please.
Right.
And then you recontextualize it.
Yeah.
Into a new
yes, it's recontextualized, but it only works in a restaurant. IMO.
I don't know. After I wrote those signs, maybe I shouldn't be commenting on any kind of writing. It's not my field. But that's subjective trivia. Noah, thanks for coming on the show. Where can people find you?
My Twitter handle is at Noah Garfinkel, spelled the way my name is spelled. I trust people to... It's a silly name, but yeah, no, people get it.
It's not a silly name. It's a proud Jewish name.
You think Garfinkel is not a silly name?
Well, I think Art Garfunkel paved the way for you, and now that name since the 60s has been like a known name.
I think that's a silly name, Garfinkel. And it's even sillier that mine is the slightest possible variation of it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Like you wanted to name yourself Garfunkel, but thought it was too on the nose, so you changed it slightly.
like they blew it on my birth certificate, like Dwayne Wade, where they were just like, I don't know, it looks insane, but who cares?
To use another cliche, we have Garfunkel at home. That's what your name is. All right, love ending on that. Remember to check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/isthisgood. And remember the live stream hangout that Noah may or may not be coming to. He might be busy going down to LA Fitness to get his money back. That is this Thursday, June 29th at 8:30. If you have topics, email us at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Remember to rate us on Apple Podcasts, subscribe on YouTube. Thanks for listening. Thanks to JD. Thanks to Noah for coming on. And definitely follow him on Twitter. Seriously, one of my favorite follows. You make me laugh, and I always want, like... What I love is just you also commenting on your own tweets that aren't doing well. I love it when you take an ad for like a medication and then insert a song into it and then complain that people aren't enjoying it. It's just, I just picture you a little bit stoned at night being like... Bit. A lot of... Well, let me ask you this question. How do you know when things are funny when you're stoned? Do you know what I mean? Because I often am stoned at night and I'll laugh at something that I thought of. But then I'd never have the guts to tweet it because I know I'm going to wake up in the morning and be like, why did I think that was so funny?
Yeah, I mean, you just put it up there and then everyone hates it. And you're like, yeah, okay, that was bad and I'm embarrassed. That's my life.
Right, but then, But then if anyone hates it, they just look at the bio and they see like, you know, workaholics, new girl, this guy's got credentials.
Yeah, which makes it even more embarrassing.
No, I don't think so. I think it means that that they're wrong. They're like, well, this guy is famous Hollywood writer. He must be right.
I don't think that's the way people on the internet operate, where they...
Oh, they have very good faith. They read everything in good faith with the full context that it's meant to be read in. And I just find them to be genuinely congenial people that want the best for you. So that's nice. For everyone, I'm Matt Austin, and this was good. We'll see you next week.